Tell me a story.
Okay. I can remember. Probably 11, 12, maybe. Right around that age. Daddy had an old Ford 10 shotgun. Bolt action. One shell at a time. And he gave it to me. Bigger now. It was twice my size. I was little. I was a little kid. And me and him went to the Army surplus store in Tallapoosa up there that Rick used to have. And bought some birdshot and buckshot and what they call pumpkin balls. Big old lead ball about that big around in one shell. You shoot it, be like a cannon.
I think I've seen them.
And but in the mornings, it'd be in the winter time, cold. I tell Mom and Dad I'm going to the woods, and I grab my old 410, fill pockets full of one side of my pocket I'd have birdshot in, the other side I'd have buckshot just in case if I see a deer. Never shot a deer. Never killed one. But I'd sit out there on the ground and I'd see them squirrels start playing around. And so I put the old birdshot in the 410. I'd start shooting squirrels. One right after the other. Shoot them out of the nest.
Oh man, that's
I'd
bad.
see them running the nest,
That ain't good.
and I'd shoot them right out of the nest.
That's bad.
I had my old jacket on that you put squirrels in. They were full all the way around full. And I'd get home and I'd skin them out, cut them tails off. I'd skin them squirrels and go get a pot. Mommy had some big old pots in there. And I'd go get one of them big pots and put all that squirrel meat in, carry it into the house. Mama made squirrel dumplings. We'd eat squirrel dumplings for days. Daddy'd a lot of times go and do the turtle things. Turtle gigging, I guess. Turtle fishing. He'd bring in some big old loggerheads. And I'd sit out there a lot of times and watch him skin them out. We'd have turtle soup. I'd play with them big old shells. Never thought about guitar picks in. Never, I was just too busy playing, but I was playing then. I mean, I was 12, 11, 12, yeah. But it was, and then there was a creek right down below the house. And in the summertime, I would tell Mama I'm going camping. Went probably half a mile down, go through a little thicket of woods and come out on this little beautiful little green area with this creek, where the creek would run together into this big creek.
You took me down there.
Yeah, I did. And back then I used I didn't have a tent. Later on I did, but I'd use like a tarp. I'd take a tarp and I'd take me a string and I'd pull from one end to the other, throw that tarp over.
We did that down at your granddaddy's lake with the kids, yeah.
And I slept like that a long time. I'd take baths in that creek and fish out. I'd bring little old fish out and stick a stick in them at night, you know, and I'd roast them over a fire and just eat them, heads and all.
Oh, gross.
I mean, you know, it was an adventure to me because I don't know how many kids nowadays could say when they were that young that their parents would let them go and camp out by themselves or do whatever they wanted to do, you know. My parents wasn't strict. They were real good parents. I was kind of on the ADHD side.
They were probably wishing to get lost in the woods.
Well, that was one of the reasons that Mom and Daddy put me playing music, because nobody could stand me. I was so wild and hyperactive.
Bless your heart.
And Mama told Daddy, go buy that boy a guitar. Sent him to Harold Baggett, 8 years old. I started taking guitar lessons when I was 8. First band I got in, I think I was 12. Dark Hollow Band, bluegrass. I guess that's where my bluegrass blood come in at. Because once I started that, I mean, I couldn't let go of it. It was in me.
Right.
But oh man. Yeah, even younger, I'd go to Granny Duke's on the weekends. Because I'd just about go to their house about every weekend, every other weekend. And High Tower Falls in Cedartown. And me and my cousin Jason, a lot of times we would, I'd get there on a Friday and he'd be in school, you know, and then I'd call him and say, hey, come on over, and we'd meet each other, you know. He'd probably live 2 miles up the road. And we'd meet each other at the bridge. That's another story. But we'd go to Granny Duke's, and back then we was into Army something awful. Playing war games and stuff like that, you know, and had all the gear and camouflage and stuff like that, and we, by the time that he'd get home from school, it'd be getting kind of dark, but early in the morning we'd get up and we'd hit High Tower Falls Mountain, and we would go up there and we'd just explore. I mean, we would just, oh gosh, miles and miles of mountain that we would just explore, you know. Play war game every once in a while, you know, me and him. We'd have our guns and stuff, and we'd be walking. I'd say, let's play a little war game. So we'd run off opposite of each other. And later on, you know, I might catch him over at Granny's laying in a ditch waiting on me to get off the mountain. He'd catch me a bunch of times, and I figured out what he's doing a lot of times. But yeah, I've done so much exploring when I was growing up. I mean, I'm a nature person. I love the nature. You know, I love wilderness. I mean, I'm a survivor. I could survive. You know, and try to teach my kids, you know, to survive.
You taught Briston.
Briston is a survivor.
Well. And you taught Caleb well.
Yeah.
I love the older girls, but they just really didn't want to learn.
Yeah,
But Caleb and Briston, they know how to grow a garden and survive.
And, you know, it's one thing kind of being raised on a farm, you know, in the summertime. I'd watch Granddaddy a lot of times get the old mule out. He'd hook a sled with a chair on the back of it. And over at Mom and Daddy's place, you know, and Granddaddy, we could see each other's houses, but there was a big old field. And in the morning sometimes, I'd get up and I'd look out the window and I'd see Granddaddy riding circles in that field on that mule, on the back of that sled that he built with a chair on it, kind of wearing it down before he'd carry it to the field. And then sometimes he'd get out there and he'd plow all day with that mule. And then we'd all the kids and grandkids would get out there and sometimes, you know, sow the ground with corn. Granddaddy done a lot of corn. He fed a lot of the community with corn every year. Plus he'd grow his own, you know, own little garden and peach trees, plum trees, apple trees, pear trees. Oh man,
muscadines and
muscadines. Yeah, and that's still in the backyard over at their house. Christy, every fall she'd get out there and that old muscadine vine would be so full. She'd get a sheet put on the bottom of the ground, the ones that fall off, you know. She got out there and shake that old vine, man, and she just got that old sheet full of muscadines. And wow.
Make muscadine wine and jelly.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember grandmother a lot of times. I used to mow their grass when I was real young. And the way I have to push a lawnmower, I couldn't hold the top rail, but you'd have this other rail right below it. And that's the way I would mow the yard.
Yeah, that's what I had to do.
I'd put one hand up here on the top one and one on the bottom, and I would mow the yard. I was a little kid. I might make $5-10. That was whoa, you know. And going to work with Daddy. Daddy was a block and brick mason, and I'd go to work with him in the summertime. I'd probably make $4, $4.50, $5 maybe. Bought a lot of my school clothes with that, and I learned a trade from Daddy, but I can't lay brick or block. But I know how to mix some mortar and tote it. But yeah, it was. I could just sit back and just. I'd really have to think hard. I mean, I'm almost 50-years old, and a lot of this stuff happened when I was 8, 9, 10. But
it's very exciting and entertaining to me. Thank you for sharing your life
You're welcome,
with me,
baby.
Larry.